Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Um, Fresh out of the surf, and man, we had some pretty wild days. Yesterday, especially, it was just like chaos, and it was interesting because there's a lot of people watching from the beach, but almost no one out. And I was like, oh, it must be really trash or what's going on. But it was big and weird and stormy, so I was like, all right, let's just try it, see what we can find. And that initial little bit of courage to try something and maybe fail at it, um, I think is something that I try to remind myself of, and the surf certainly reminds me of it all the time. But as I was out there, just duck diving and paddling and duck diving and paddling and getting sloshed, I ended up catching some really awesome waves that inside that chaos, that feeling of energy and push and power, and you're kind of dancing with that. And that's something I really appreciate, and I'm glad that I had the courage to try. And more than that, I feel like there's maybe this idea of perseverance, because we can all get up some courage to try something temporarily, but can we stick with it? Can we keep going, especially when you get constantly rejected or you feel like there's a lot of roadblocks against it? So that perseverance is what really helps push us through and fuels that next step and the following step and the following step, or that next paddle, that next duck dive. So I had a great time thinking about that, and it made me reminded of a quote that I had heard, that I wanted to read, or it's actually a poem. So I wanted to read that. I wrote it down. It's called First Day Came by Pastor Martin Niemöller, and this was from the World War II times. He says, "First day came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me." And I'm really honestly not sure exactly why I'm reminded of that, but it's this notion of courage meets perseverance. So having the courage to say something, to stand up, especially when maybe others around you are choosing not to say something, or maybe they're saying the opposite. There's a lot of herd mentality, there's a lot of tribalism, and when you're an independent thinker, you have to speak up with that courage, that initial courage to say what you believe. And you also have the courage to admit if you're wrong, or to admit that maybe you don't have all the facts, and to have the courage to go research those facts. But all of that needs perseverance. You need to be able to stick with it and find that energy to keep going, even when it feels, overwhelming and tough. So I encourage myself, really, mainly, to just remind my friends, my family, my community about those moments of courage meets perseverance. So I hope you're having a good day. Cheers.